What's up, y'all? Toya here, and I am back with another video for y'all. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys either like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Alright, y'all. First of all, I gotta wish everybody a happy new year. We made it through 2023. Bring on 2024. I'm wishing nothing but blessings and success for everybody. We gonna do something this year, y'all. I can feel it. We gonna do something this year. Now, before we go ahead and hop into today's topic, we gotta go ahead and do a little recap on what happened in 2023. It'll be a brief recap, okay? Now, I would say 2023 has had its ups and its downs. 2023 was the year where I actually started this channel. I was doing a bit of gig work before I started the channel, but it wasn't until I started the channel that I really started to get into the gig scene and just understand how everything works, you know, the pros and the cons of everything. And yeah, like I said, it's been quite a roller coaster, even for myself, with me just doing gig work part-time. Now, I would say that a lot of us can agree that we have really felt it financially, and that's just because a lot of us don't feel like we've been getting paid fairly. Between pay cuts from the apps themselves, they're cutting base pay, to the customers just not wanting to tip anymore because of tip fatigue, and a lot of them feel like they shouldn't be tipping before service, or they think tipping is optional. You know, all of the same arguments. Pay has been down overall. I know some people might be saying, you know, it's great in my market, I'm not having any issues, but overall, collectively, you know, we've been taking a hit. So with all of this happening, with, like I said, the pay cuts and just not getting paid enough, you know, how do we go into 2024 and maximize those earnings? And this is honestly the question for a lot of people. You know, that's going to be the question for that person that might want to get into gig work. They're not really sure, but they decided, you know what, 2024 is going to be the year that I decide to dive into gig work. Or there might be a person that's been doing gig work for a while, and, you know, they've seen the ups and downs, and they're like, okay, I got to make a change because, you know, it's been kind of rough for me for 2023. And you might have those people who are thinking about hanging it up and throwing in a towel and going back to a full-time job because they don't really see gig work as profitable anymore. Whether or not you fall under one of those categories or another category, I think we can all agree that we just want to maximize our earnings. And how do we maximize our earnings going into a new year as gig workers? That's what we're going to go ahead and talk about today. Now, to start, I'm going to go ahead and pick on a select group. So you have those people out there who probably do maybe one, maybe two, maybe three different apps. And they're like, these are my apps. This is what I want to do. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm making money. Yeah, there are some slow periods, but for the most part, I'm making a living. I'm straight. I have no complaints. And that's great for you. I'm happy for you. I love that for you. But we gotta be honest here. With so much going on in this gig economy, all of that can change literally in an instant. So we cannot get too comfortable, because it can be super detrimental to you and you won't even know it. It's gonna hit you like a truck and you just gonna be lost out here, just like, oh my God, what do I do? And you know, this can come in many forms. It could be as simple as, you know, additional pay cuts. Maybe some apps start limiting the amount of hours that you can work. And worst of them all, you get too many contract violations and you end up getting your account deactivated. So then what do? You're not going to just sit around and not make money. You know, maybe you decide, you know what, I got to hang it up. I'm going back to a W-2. I'm going to give me a full-time job. But if you want to stay in the gig scene, you kind of got to go ahead and prepare yourself for those, you know, just in cases, you know, those emergencies, all of that, right? And you do this by adding more apps to your arsenal. Now, I know there's probably going to be those people, well, I've only done this app and it's been great to me and this and that. I'm not going to go ahead and add on any apps. Look, I'm just trying to go ahead and prepare you just in case something happens. And you might be perfectly fine if you decide to do gig work for another 5 years and you decide to only do DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. You might be perfectly fine doing that and making a living and not have to deal with any type of issues down the line. You know, I'm happy for you if that does happen. But you never know what might happen. You need to have some backup apps just in case. So what are some apps that you can go ahead and add to your arsenal? So I did a video back over the summer, and it's still relevant today because some of these apps I was finally able to go ahead and get activated, and I've been using them. Some of them still on the wait list. But if you haven't seen this video about all the apps that I have installed and I've signed up for, make sure you check it out. I think I have about 20 or so apps that I've signed up for. So make sure you check those apps out to see if it's something that could potentially work in your market. So other than those apps that I mentioned in those videos, some of you guys might be wondering, okay, so if I don't want to go ahead and do food delivery, what are some of the other apps that I could potentially get into that might be a bit better than, like I said, food delivery? Well, most of those apps I've already showcased on the channel, and I'll go ahead and do a quick little rundown the list just so you guys are aware. So my first app that I showcased on this channel was Amazon Flex. Amazon Flex was pretty much the primary app on this channel, and it took over for quite a while, and I made a lot of money on that app, and that was even before I started the channel. I was still making a lot of money on there. Roadie is the next app that I ended up getting into, but unfortunately it kind of fell off in my area, but you're welcome to go ahead and check it out in your market to see if it's still profitable. Then I started to get into catering, and that's when I discovered Delivered and Deliver That. Now I recently got into Deliver That about a month or so ago, so I'm still learning about that platform, but I've been in the catering scene with Delivered for a while, and man, Delivered, after Amazon Flex started to slow down, Delivered, that became my bread and butter. You know, I was doing catering orders all the time. I'm pretty sure y'all might have been getting tired of it if y'all was around then. But yeah, catering is on another level. Catering is on another level, and I'll get into that in a bit. And last but not least is the Spark app. Now, I've been showcasing this app like crazy over the last couple weeks because it's honestly, I don't know if it's because of the holidays or what, but like it's been so profitable for me. Like, whew. Now, there have been a couple other apps that I tried before that didn't really work out for me. Like I tried Skip Cart, I did Ship Package Delivery. They have the shopper portion, but I did the Target delivery portion. It was just meh for me. You know, just off that list alone, there's a lot of different apps that you can get into that you can just add on to your arsenal just in case. Even if you don't want to do it on a regular as your primary app, you can use them as fillers. You know, when your main app is down, you go ahead and turn that on. You know, however you want to go ahead and do it, but it's good to have multiple apps in your arsenal. That's literally how you maximize your profits. You can't just rely on that one single app. You have to hop around from app to app based off of what's the most profitable at the time. Like, why would you go ahead and do DoorDash and Uber Eats with, you know, just your basic pay when you got Spark over here? They just throwing incentives out left and right. Like, you got to go ahead and take advantage when those apps are starting to just give away money. Which leads me to my next point, taking advantage of those apps. Now, just to kind of detour a little bit, I don't know how much you guys know about the situation that's going on in New York. Now, I haven't checked in the last week or two, so I don't know if there's been any new updates, but they did go and pass a law to mandate that the apps pay the workers a certain wage. And I think a lot of people, honestly, they were really happy for it. But then at the same time, you had some people that were like, okay, well, that actually might be kind of bad for the gig economy later on down the line, because maybe they're gonna have to raise prices, and that means less customers, then that means less work, so that means they're gonna have to cut drivers, so it's gonna be less drivers. And I did make a video about that, about, you know, long term what could potentially happen. But the thing is, if there's something going on that is beneficial to you as a gig worker, you have to take those little victories and take advantage of it while you can. Like, literally, if there was a new law that got passed tomorrow and they said, hey, Chicago is going to pay delivery drivers $30 an hour, and, you know, this is the minimum that they're going to be forced to pay, best believe I'm about to be running up and down them streets of Chicago making deliveries. I don't do deliveries in Chicago because it's too hectic. It's dangerous in some areas, and, you know, it's just not worth it for me to go ahead and just be out there in the city. But best believe if they go ahead and say, yeah, $30 an hour, yeah, let me go ahead and go downtown and give me a little some and shoot, I'm running it up. I'm telling you right now, I am going to run it up. I'm going to take full advantage. And that's literally what you have to do with these apps. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you another one better. Let me give you my own personal example. Actually, I got 2 examples. So I haven't showcased Amazon Flex in months now. And the main reason is because they have not been putting out any good blocks that are worth taking. I always took surge pay blocks. So if they're just offering base pay, I look the other way. It ain't worth my time because I don't know where they're going to send me. If I go downtown or if I go far in Indiana and they're only paying me base pay, it is not worth it for me. I'm not going to be tearing down my car for no base pay. Okay. So I haven't really been on Amazon Flex lately. Now, if they come out with another incentive, which they've done this 2 times already and I've showcased it on the channel, they came out with an incentive where if you completed a certain number of blocks, they would pay you an extra $100. So best believe I was on Amazon Flex running up that base pay because at the end of all those blocks, whether it was base pay or it was surge pay, I got me an extra $100 at the end of all of that, and it made that whole trip worth it. So I don't entertain Amazon Flex if they're only going to offer me base pay, only surge pay. And if they happen to have another incentive coming along, best believe I'm about to be out there running them blocks up so I can get my extra $100. I literally want to work the apps in the best way possible so I'm the most profitable. Now, the second example, most recently, if you've been tuning in, you've been noticing a lot of Spark on this channel and y'all probably sick of it. I literally already got 2 more videos scheduled for Spark coming out later on this week. And I got another Spark video that I still got to go ahead and edit. That's going to be sometime next week. And look, I don't care if y'all getting sick of seeing Spark. I'm sorry. My pockets are happy. You know why? Because I'm taking full advantage of all of the incentives that they have to offer. And I don't know if it's because of the holiday season, because I just got activated on Spark. So I don't know what it looks like during the middle of the year, you know, after the new year. If I had to guess, it's probably still going to be kind of busy just because with it being colder, you know, it's going to be snowing, you know, people probably just don't feel like going out in the cold. So I think it's still going to be quite profitable. And I think we're still going to have quite a few incentives going into the winter. And, you know, I think it'll probably keep up until, you know, it starts to get warmer. Now, when it gets warmer, when it gets to springtime, summertime, it might be a different story, but we're going to figure that out when we get there. But for right now, as long as that money talking and they got them incentives, they just dishing out incentives left and right. You know, here's an extra $3 per order. Here's an extra $20-some per order. You did with that, an extra 40. And why would I turn down free money? There's no reason for me to turn down free money. This is something that you have to do. You have to take advantage of those incentives. If one app is popping off, they just giving away free money. Guess what? Hop on that app, maximize those profits, get as much money as you can out of that app while they got it there for you. There's no reason for you to be taking base pay on Amazon Flex and you're running up your mileage and wasting all this gas when you got Spark right here literally giving you free money. And let's not forget about catering. I ain't forget about catering now. Catering has been probably the most profitable gig type for me since I've started gig work. Now, granted, I'm still technically new to the catering game. I'm not in any of their clubs. I'm not a partner or a priority, got premier, whatever the names are. I forget all the different names of the rewards and things like that. But even with me just being a regular person, taking regular catering orders, nothing too crazy, I still consider them quite profitable. For the most part, unless you got an emergency order for the same day, most of the orders are going to come next day, and they pay out very, very well for the amount that you have to drive. Now, another conversation could be had about how much you should be getting paid, considering you got to go ahead and set up everything and all of that, but we'll save that topic for another day. But the main thing is mileage, the pay ratio, and how much time it takes you to go ahead and complete those orders. Most of the time, you can get done with a catering order in less than an hour. So imagine you got a $50 order, you can go ahead and knock that out within about an hour, and you have your whole day to you to do whatever you want at that point. If you got more apps you want to go ahead and turn on, you can do that. And you just kind of build around that so you can maximize your profits. You know, you see where I'm going with this? Imagine, say if you had yourself a catering order scheduled for like 10 a.m. or something, right? So you got yourself like a $60 catering order, simple pickup, drop off, is near the home. So you only got to drive maybe 10 minutes to get to the restaurant, and it's like another 10 minutes to get to the drop off location. So it's probably going to take you a good maybe 30, 45 45 minutes to complete that. So boom, you do that, quick $60, you knock that out in less than an hour, okay? Now, it's only, say, 11 o'clock. You still got a lot of day ahead of you. So what do? You can maybe turn on DoorDash, you can turn on Uber Eats, maybe hit the lunch rush, go ahead and see how much you can go ahead and get. Maybe you got yourself an Amazon Flex block later on in Surge Pay. You got yourself a 3-hour block, $80. Depending on the route that they give you, you could possibly knock it out maybe in 2 hours. You never know. And then after that, you're pretty much done for the day. So at the end of that day, you made your $60 from your catering, then you made your 80 from your Amazon Flex block, and then whatever you made in between that, whether you took a break or maybe you turned on another app, you picked up a Spark order or two, maybe made $20 there, did a couple food deliveries, maybe you made about another 20, maybe $30, and you add all that together, and you maybe only worked 5, maybe 6 hours total, and you could potentially be closing in on about maybe 200 for the day. Now that's how you maximize your profits. Multi-apping saves lives, man. I promise you. Take all of this together. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap it all up together. So you download a bunch of apps that's available in your market. Okay, so you go ahead and check all of your apps and see what incentives are going on. Oh, okay, look at that. We got Amazon Flex. They got a incentive, complete 3 blocks this week, and we'll go ahead and give you an extra $50. Okay, sounds simple enough. So you can go ahead and schedule your Amazon Flex blocks throughout your week. However you want to do that, you got those pre-scheduled and everything, okay? Oh, look at that. You got yourself a catering order for tomorrow. All right, so you got yourself a $50 order right here. That's going to be a morning order. Okay, so you got your catering order here. Oh, you happen to have your Amazon Flex shift right after that. So you can just go straight into your Amazon Flex shift. And if you decide you want to continue for the day, you can. If you want to be done for the day, you can. But you made yourself a quick little $100 in, maybe 4 hours or so. Okay, that's decent. You know what? I think I want to go ahead and make an extra $50. Let me turn on Spark. Oh, look at that. Spark has some incentives. Okay, I can get an extra $3 per order from this area. Okay, so I'll pick up about 5 orders. Oh, look at that. They had another incentive. If I complete 5 trips, I get an extra $30. Well, look at that. I'm just getting free money. So that's how I would see a person that was maximizing the apps to their full potential. That's how I envision how their day would go. That's what a smart gig worker does. Now, obviously, this type of example, this might be for like a full-time gig worker. Now, a part-time gig worker like myself, I just kind of get it in when I can. But you're still using those same practices even if you do gig work part-time. I'm only taking orders that are worth my time. I'm not gonna go take base pay for Amazon Flex if they're not doing an incentive. That's just a waste of my time and my money on gas. And like I said before, that's why I'm running it up with Spark right now. I'm taking full advantage of all of these incentives because that's what's working for me right now. Matter of fact, I got another catering order that I picked up for today that I'm gonna do. Eventually you guys will see that on the channel. But when I saw that order, I'm like, oh, this is great pay considering, where I have to drive. So, I can't turn that down. So I take orders that are worth my time and, where I can fit it in. And, I try to go ahead and make the best of it. And that's really all you can do. But yeah, it's as simple as that, y'all. You just have to maximize your earnings by navigating multiple apps and pretty much picking what's going to pay you the most at the time. Forget all that favoritism. Well, I've been on this app for so long and this and that and that. They don't care about you. I don't know why people constantly want to be loyal to these big corporations that probably don't even know your name. They don't know your name. Go ahead, take advantage while you can because they're going to go ahead and do the same thing to you and you don't even know it. So you go ahead and you fall into those traps where, top dasher or, having my high acceptance rate for this so I can get priority for that. You can go ahead and fall into those traps if you want. You might think that it's profitable, but it's really not. It's really not once it's all said and done. So yeah, go ahead and take advantage while you can. For those apps that's making sense for you, go ahead and run them up. Run those apps up and fill your pockets. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this video. Now, before I go ahead and do my outro and everything, I do have to mention this one thing. I posted a question in my community tab, and I asked if you guys had any questions for me because I would like to do a Q&A video. So I want you guys to kind of get to know me a little bit more, and if there are any questions that are gig related, you know, you guys can ask me that if it's something that I haven't covered in the video. And yeah, I would just like to go ahead and do a Q&A video just to, you know, kind of run through some simple questions that you guys might have that I think I can answer. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and go to the community tab and post your questions. And I'll probably leave it up for a couple weeks. I'll let it build up because I don't know how many people have questions. So I'll go ahead and let it build up. And once it reaches a decent number, or after a couple weeks, I'll go ahead and just close it down and I'll go ahead and do a Q&A video. So yeah, like I said, if you guys just have basic questions, you want to get to know me, as long as there's nothing weird like asking me what my zodiac sign is and all of that, like, I don't know. But yeah, feel free to go ahead and leave any questions in that community tab post. And yeah, we'll go ahead and do a Q&A video in a few weeks. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Now, before I let you go, I have to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss a video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. And as always, stay safe out there and keep grinding.